Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, what would we do about court storming in college basketball?
Also, is a better smelling office a good reason to go into work? And more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
Do you believe this, Isaiah? Do you believe it's possible for an individual to be addicted to Tinder?
Addicted seems like a strong word.
Compulsive? Can Tinder bring out compulsive behavior in somebody?
What's kind of like a never-ending little thrill.
Yeah.
You never know what's coming next.
You never know. And I have here at least one person who has had to seek treatment for his Tinder addiction. His name is Ed Turner. He's 27 years old. He's from the UK. And he recently had to find therapy because he claims he was addicted to Tinder. He would swipe 500 times a day.
500 is a crazy number. He has the unlimited pass.
He has to.
He's paying.
I was thinking, how much is this guy paying?
He's paying extra money for that unlimited amount of swipes.
But you know what? If you're paying, that's a sign of addiction, isn't it?
Could be so.
If you're paying for something that could easily also be free to you, that's a gateway at least. And so he was saying he was swiping at least 500 times on Tinder per day. And here's what's crazy. He says he had no intention of actually meeting or dating any of the women that he was swiping on Tinder. So now you're starting to think like, so what was the point? The point was he was addicted to the rush that he would feel when anybody would like his profile.
Oh, when he got a match?
When he got a match, that's what he was. That was the dopamine hit he was looking for. And it didn't matter if it went any further than that. In fact, it sounds like he didn't want it to go any further than that. All he wanted was to get other people to like him. And so obviously detrimental. He said validation from others was the only thing keeping me going. And so eventually he had to seek out treatment because you can't go through life swiping 500 times on Tinder per day and never getting a date.
And you have to think, like, he doesn't want a girlfriend. He doesn't want to go on dates. He just wants the high of people thinking that he's attractive. That's his whole thing.
Apparently, he says he did go on to say, if a person didn't respond to me or didn't message me in the first place, it would crush me. I would get highs when I was getting a lot of matches with people that I found attractive, but it will always be followed by a crash because it's not sustainable.
So he's went through this a couple times.
Yeah.
It said he ended up actually starting a relationship with a girl he met offline, of course, in person.
Yeah.
But he still couldn't quit thinking about the apps. Made him feel like
Dangerous.
a bad partner. He said, I didn't do anything I never taught to a woman while I was in that relationship, but it did have an effect on me. That relationship ended.
Uh-huh.
No surprise. And then he went straight back to the apps again.
Oh, he had a traumatic experience, and then, and then it reared its head again. This is a cautionary tale. You might not be swiping 500 times a day, but I feel like these apps, they can mess with your head a little bit.
You can't pay for it. You definitely can't pay for it.
That's a sign. If you're considering paying for it, that's a sign you're relying too much on it. You're too reliant, and you need to look elsewhere. It's not like there's not many free options. You can, right? Couldn't you just use up all the free swipes on different profiles? It all adds up. You don't have to pay.
Paying.
Yeah. I don't like it from a mental health standpoint, from a relationship standpoint, and from a financial standpoint. If you start paying for apps, it's a problem.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Last week was the AT&T outage that affected so many AT&T wireless customers. How much do you think AT&T owes each and every one of those customers that was without service for hours and hours on Thursday?
They owe him money?
Yeah. Do you think they do?
I don't really think they do.
You don't think they owe them anything?
I don't think so.
Well, then you must consider it very generous that AT&T has said that every customer affected by the outage on Thursday will receive a $5 credit on their statement.
$5 off.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
That's
That is pretty nice.
A nice little bonus, huh? Just
Seems
for
like a
the,
nice little
the small
bonus.
price to pay of what? Going like 12-ish hours? And a lot of those were overnight.
From
So-
3:30 a.m. to noon.
Yeah. 9 hours. You were asleep for at least half of it. So what's $5? That feels pretty generous on behalf of AT&T.
Feels pretty nice.
Yeah.
I would take that.
I'd take $5 off my bill if I had AT&T. But you know what's nice about my service is it usually works. So they don't have any reason to credit me, I guess. AT&T. So if you did, I was talking about this with some people over the weekend. Is they sent out, I think, as I understand it, they sent out a text letting people know about this. But the people I was talking to were like, I don't know if it was a scam or not. I didn't know it was actually from AT&T or somebody like a spam thing trying to capitalize. And I didn't say this to them at the time, but now thinking about it, I don't think scammers are that quick. Like the typical scammer is not that on the ball. It's not that quick of a turnaround with scams to me.
But wouldn't that be a good scam, though?
It would be a good
That's
scam.
what makes for a good scam.
Yeah, click here to opt in to get your $5 credit because of the outage the other day. It would be, if I was a scammer, that would be maybe my thing is like capitalizing on current events might be what I would do. AT&T, of course, another thing said that the outage on Thursday was not caused by a cyber attack, contrary to popular belief. They said it was caused by the application and execution of an incorrect process used as we were expanding our network. Oh, isn't that convenient?
Somebody got fired.
Yeah. And that the problem was caused by them trying to make things better. They just wanted to slip that in. Hey, while we were trying to make things better for you, yeah, something went wrong. But keep in mind, we were trying to make things better for you. How
Good PR from them.
Yeah, how
Great
convenient.
PR.
How convenient. In the meanwhile, they've let any cyber attacker know now how to take things down. You try to expand the network.
You try to make it better.
Yeah, you hack in, you try to expand the network. That'll take it down.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
You believe this, that some companies, as more and more employees are returning to in-office work. It's been 4 years. Can we stop saying that? I said it, but that's what the story says. As employees come to terms,
Getting back into the hang of things now.
They've been back at the office, but maybe they're still, I feel like, still coming to terms with the fact that they have to work at the office now. Some employers are trying to find ways to make working in the office a little more enjoyable, including some companies such as real estate company Hines that are trying to craft their very own specific smells for their office buildings, try to make the smell of the office building unique and something the employees will enjoy, and in turn make working in the office a more enjoyable thing and something that they would like to do. Listen to this quote from this is the co-CEO of real estate company Hines, who says that this is in a Wall Street Journal report. Each note was thoughtfully selected to evoke a sense of belonging. They literally would rather do this than just, like pay the employees more, give them better benefits, or
Those cost money, Hudson.
it sounds like it costs money to design your own smell too. Does it not?
I feel like if you just put some Glade plugins into the walls,
Yeah.
some air wicks, some clean linen,
Uh-huh.
fresh linen.
When was the last place you went just because you wanted to smell it?
Probably the RadioU break room
Yeah.
after somebody put some of that cinnamon bread in the
Oh.
toaster.
See, I was thinking Home Depot.
Oh, you like that Home Depot smell,
That's
huh?
a great smell. I don't know anything about lumber, but sometimes I just go to that section of Home Depot just because I like the smell. But that's very few and far between.
I'm more of a baked goods kind of guy.
Baked
When I
goods.
walk through that, the grocery
Yeah.
store, the baked goods section, I like that fresh bread.
Yeah.
There used to be a Wonder Bread building pretty close to where I lived.
Uh-huh.
I used to drive past that all the time, and you could smell it in your car as you drove by.
Yeah.
You could smell the fresh bread.
Oh, kind of like the big brewery here. You can smell but it doesn't smell like beer. It smells like cereal. Because I guess that's what they use to make it.
Oh, really? I've never
Yeah,
noticed
you never
that.
noticed that when
I've
you're
never
driving on the
noticed that.
highway?
I pass it like every time.
Yeah, I know. Roll your windows down.
And smell cereal?
You'll smell it. I used to live near it. Now, going back to the office buildings, putting the smell in as if that's going to make people happier. I don't think it's going to work, shockingly. But I think it will actually have an unintended effect because you don't go places often just because you like the smell. And I don't think the smell makes you all that much happier if you're in a place that you don't like. But what it will do is when you smell that smell, you'll think of how you're like whatever the other emotions that come along with being where you would smell that smell normally. And so it's just going to, once people leave this company later, if they smell something similar to this, they're going to remember how they hated working there.
So ruining smells for people.
It's exactly. But I guess if it's their own unique smell, then I guess you wouldn't smell it anywhere else.
I like a nice smelling space. The upstairs here smells better than the downstairs. But you would know that if you were upstairs all the time.
I guess so.
I'm not upstairs very often, so whenever I walk up there, I'm like, man, why does it smell so much better up here than it does down here on the first floor, where I mainly reside? And so I like a nice smelling atmosphere.
There could be a common denominator.
Mm-hmm. You think it's me?
Yeah, could be.
No, it's just
Or maybe it's just Jim the dog rubbing off on you.
precise.
The stories you love with the opinions you hate. The Riot Radio U.
Isaiah, do you agree with this statement? Being a man trying to buy body wash is the worst experience.
I think it's kind of exciting.
It's thrilling, isn't it?
Getting some new scents in there.
Yeah. Do you want to go with something new or do you want to go with the tried and true? It's always a thrilling adventure, but not for some men, including for one guy on TikTok who has gotten a lot of publicity, a lot of views, a lot of likes, a lot of support for saying that he thinks it's too difficult for men to buy deodorant and body wash. And can you guess why he would think such a thing?
I can't be sure. I feel like this is a wild statement from a man.
Well, have you ever had this? You're walking down the body wash aisle, you're looking at all the men's fragrances. First you see the women's fragrances, and they're like coconut, orange peel, vanilla. And then you look at the men's, and they're like bear glove, wolf thorn, dragon blast. That's the problem. The women's ones tell you what they smell like, what they're supposed to smell like anyways. The men's do not.
Timber, one of my personal favorites.
Fiji.
Oh,
Love
don't even
Fiji.
get me started on Fiji.
Yeah. Now, where this man sees this as a bug, I see it as a feature. I like that they have cool names. It makes me feel like I'm some kind of conqueror. It makes me feel like, wolf thorn. All of a sudden, I'm a Viking. I put that on. I feel much more manly than I actually am. And it's all because of the name.
He's complaining mostly about Old Spice.
Yeah.
One of their signature scents.
Uh-huh.
Swagger. What's that smell like? I don't know.
It smells like swagger.
I know at my house I have Deep Sea.
Uh-huh.
Very, very good. See, I don't think that the name matters to me at all. I just smell it.
Yeah.
Like Fiji smells great. I don't know what it smells like.
Right.
I don't know what that scent is. But I also am more so for deodorant.
Uh-huh.
When I'm going through these, I am going by smell. Body wash, I am going for almost just the cheapest one available.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, that my body wash smell does not matter.
You don't think it sticks with you?
No.
Maybe you're just not hairy enough.
I've never gotten that. I've never gotten a comment on if I didn't put on cologne
Yeah.
where I've just used body wash and someone's been like, man, whatever you're wearing, it smells good.
Yeah. You don't smell yourself, though?
I smell myself.
Yeah.
But what is that doing for me?
Well, I like to smell good for myself, but how many
How many
dollars worth is that?
Yeah,
Probably
not worth any to me.
not much.
Right now, I have I think it's a bergamot and wood.
Oh, I love bergamot.
That's what I'm smelling like right now.
Yeah. Bergamot.
And nobody's complimented me on that for my body wash, but it was on sale.
The other problem is too, if you see, I'm like you. I smell it. I don't care if it's body wash, deodorant, if it's not something I bought before. If I'm looking, I don't care what the name is. The only thing, and even if I was looking at women's stuff that says vanilla on it, well, different brands smell different anyways. They can all say vanilla. What does it actually smell like? I always smell. It's got to pass the smell test. I don't care if I look like a crazy man standing there in the aisle, opening up every body wash. I'll do it.
Oh, I'll smell them. I'm smelling everything.
Yeah.
I'm smelling until my nose starts feeling weird. The smells don't smell right.
That's right. Until I accidentally smell too close, and I get a little soapy little thing hanging off my nose. So that's your problem right there. You're too self-conscious, this guy, to open up the bear glove and smell what it smells like. But also, once you do smell like the Old Spice smells, for example, how would you accurately describe those anyways? What do they smell like?
We don't know.
There's no way to do it. So why not give it a cool name and a cool design and go from there?
Yeah, for me, it's always just the cheapest option available. I went to the store with my girlfriend yesterday, and she was getting things like that.
Yeah.
And I know that I can never complain about the complexity of me picking out body wash or deodorant after watching her pick out like 7 different skin things.
Yeah.
That just I don't even know what those things are that she's putting on.
Right.
And so for me to complain about the scent not being clear enough, that seems like blasphemy.
That's right. Yeah. Think about all the different products that women have to buy. They feel the need to buy that we don't even consider.
I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is. She's putting things in the cart.
What is concealer?
And I was like, what even is this? This is the 3rd lotion we put in here. And apparently this one doesn't break her out. I don't know. I'm using body wash on my face. I don't understand.
The stories you love with the opinions you hate. The Riot Radio U.
The big story in sports over the weekend has to be the Duke-Wake Forest basketball game, where Wake Forest was the home team, pulled off the upset in some ways over Duke. Duke ranked, Wake Forest not ranked. Wake Forest was the favorite. So is that really an upset?
It's an upset.
Whether or not it was an upset, it was enough for their fans to storm the court, which led to Duke star Kyle Filipowski suffering a knee injury. He was crashed into by one of the fans storming the court, and at this time, the extent of the knee injury is still unknown, but nevertheless, he was injured. It has all kinds of people now clamoring for this to be the end of court storming. Isaiah, is this the end, or can there be a solution, or what should we do?
The NCAA is going to try to make this the end of it, because we had the issue earlier this season with like probably the biggest name in college basketball right now.
Men or women.
Which is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And then this one to a Duke player, a blue blood college basketball team, one of the best players in the country.
Yep. And depending on how bad the injury is, this could really crush their chances in the tournament. And the NCAA would love to have Duke do well in the tournament, of course.
And so I think they're going to do something. The NCAA will.
Yeah.
But what will they do? That is the big question mark.
What will they do and what can they do?
Because it's the masses. It's the masses. How can you stop the mass of students that are going to run on the floor after a big win? And I know that people are going to argue that this is the fun of college basketball. Yes. This is what makes it so electric. But is it?
Yes.
You think it is?
I do. Yeah.
I don't think it is.
I was getting so angry over the weekend. Not that he was injured, that all the people saying, see, this is why we should have banned court storming years ago. And to them, I was like thinking to myself, because I don't argue online, but I was just thinking like, how many times has the court been stormed and nothing bad has really happened until these 2 recent times where Caitlin Clark got the wind knocked out of her, and many people argued that she was looking for the contact. It was easily avoidable, it seems. A lot of things seem easily avoidable when you watch them in slow motion, but the same could be said for Kyle Filipowski here. Some people are saying he initiated the contact. Either way, even if he did, if it is a very serious injury, it's the first very serious injury to a player caused by court storming ever, and court storming has gone on longer than you or I have ever been alive. I don't know. Longer than we've been alive. So because of one time, we're going to get rid of it.
They will.
Maybe some changes could be made, but you're right. You can't get rid of it because how are you going to keep the masses at bay? If the students want to storm, they're going to storm.
Well, what they'll say is, then it's an immediate forfeit. But that's a horrible way to do it.
That's stupid, yeah.
Because then you're punishing the teams for stupid fans.
Yeah.
And you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You also could put up an invisible fence and have everybody wear a shock collar. That's my first one.
That's a good idea.
I like that one.
Uh-huh.
For me, like, I understand that it's a safety hazard. And when you watch the video of the Duke player that gets hurt, the thing that really stinks is it's the college students running on the floor, like celebrating right in his face, and which I understand why. I mean, if it was me in that moment, I would want to punch all the kids in the face. Yeah, would you not? Like, you just lost a game. I
understand. Yeah,
like, I get to where the players are coming from, and do I think that this is part of the really, like, the funness of college basketball? I think it is. Yeah. Do I think it takes away if they don't storm the court? Like, the fun part of college basketball is the start of the game to the buzzer beater. After that, me as a fan watching from home, do I get that much more benefit from the court storming? I think it's a cool part of the game. Yeah. Do I think it's as electric as they're making it out to be right now? I don't think it is.
I feel like, I will say this, I've never stormed a court. I feel like over the years it's gotten too prevalent. It happens too often. Like in this case, maybe Wake Forest.
Like, Duke isn't the #1 team in the country.
No, yeah.
So what are you storming the court for?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are they ranked, 7? They're ranked 5?
Yeah.
Does it feel like I mean, it happens anytime. If you beat a top 10 ranked team, you're storming the court.
It happens way too often.
Would
now.
you rather?
It's not special.
Yeah. Would you rather keep court storming? Like, you can still do it, but the students have to sit farther away, and the atmosphere during the game isn't as great. Probably not. I would rather have the students right on the court, making it an electric atmosphere, and then if they don't get to storm the court, fine with me.
Yeah, I still don't know how they can control it.
They're going to
without doing something outrageous that would ruin things even further. And do you really want to do that for one guy getting hurt?
See, I would rather have the electric atmosphere. I'd rather have the kids on the floor. That's what I'd rather have.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.